What if Raditz fought Goku at Kame House? This, at a glance, doesn't seem like something that would cause a major impact in the story, yet, being over 30 parts into it now, we've come to find that it can cause a major difference. Along with another change in the story in which Krillin was put into a comatose state instead of killed at the hands of Tambourine, we've come to find a very different story that's kept many characters relevant, long past their time in the original series, and, in addition to that, characters who had died really early on and not been given their chance at redemption or things of that nature being given a little bit of limelight themselves. Now, if you're new to this channel, stop. Part 1 is right above my head. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel out immensely. And guys, honestly, thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I didn't think I'd hit this soon. I love every single one of you. In our last part, we saw the Dragon Team preparing. Whether it be through training or strategy, they were getting themselves ready for the invasion of Cooler. Everyone was preparing. All the way from Recoome to Jocko, from Vegeta to Raditz. Everyone was gathering their forces together for the epic struggle that was the fight against Cooler and his family, as well as Cumber. And speaking of Cooler and his family, they were training diligently. King Cold had achieved his golden form, with Frieza just shortly behind, about to achieve it himself. Cumber was preparing. Just in case he had to take them all out, he was making sure that he remained stronger than the 3 of them combined. But the 4 of them together were proving to be a force that the Dragon Team would struggle to overcome. But the Dragon Team wasn't going to have to go it alone. It turns out Whis had found some Saiyans to recruit, including one very powerful one by the name of Broly. His natural potential was sure to be helpful during this fight. But will it be enough? Let's continue. It had been 2 months since New Namek was destroyed, and things were finally starting to piece together for the Dragon Team. The Dragon Team had been training diligently during that time, with Piccolo and a few others taking a year in the hyperbolic time chamber to try and catch up to the likes of Vegeta and others. But despite Vegeta distracting himself with training, he was awaiting news from the Galactic Patrol. And on a fateful day, it finally came. Vegeta, it is I, Jocko, the Super Elite. Hopefully you can hear me on the other end of that microphone.
I can hear you just fine, Jocko. Is there an update on my planet or not?
Jeez, Vegeta, always so moody. I should have just relayed this information to Bulma instead. Yes, the Galactic Patrol has officially cleared Planet Vegeta. You are free to travel here whenever you feel.
Excellent news, Jocko. Thank you.
Wait, did I just get a thank you from the Prince of all Saiyans? Well, you're welcome. But Vegeta turned off the communication device before Jocko could finish his sentence. There was a lot of work to be done. They were at about the halfway point between when they estimated Cooler would arrive. And not only did they need to prepare Planet Vegeta for the coming invasion, but they also needed to set something in place to lure Cooler and the others there. But that didn't seem too difficult. With Frieza back in the picture, as soon as the knowledge of Planet Vegeta being restored became aware to him, it was certain that he would persuade his family to head there instead. They would probably know that it's a trap of sorts, but their arrogance would probably get the best of them. Meanwhile, on Beerus' planet, an unforeseen set of circumstances had occurred. His brother, Champa, had appeared, bringing some foods, and trying to display the superiority of his universe. Universe 6. The 2 cat-like gods of destruction quarreled with each other on which of their universes was superior. However, Vados interrupted them, keen to learn where her brother Whis was at.
Oh, Whis. Yes, I actually have him helping out some of my pupils. You see, Champa, I have some very powerful apprentices of my own, Saiyans from my universe and the last of their kind, and they're incredibly strong. Stronger than anyone that your universe has to offer.
Oh, brother, you think that you're the only universe with Saiyans? I've got Saiyans too, and they're very strong. Probably stronger than any of yours.
Oh yeah? Is that so? Did you want to put that to a test, brother?
Champa slammed his fists on the table out of frustration. As a matter of fact, I do, brother. Why not? A tournament. How about a 6v6 to see whose universe is superior? The winner gets Earth, and all of these delectable foods that go along with it. This angered Beerus as well. As they were conversing with each other, they had been competing with their universe's foods, and his was clearly better. However, he didn't expect that to end up being Earth put on the line, but he's a prideful being, and he accepted the conditions.
Well, that all sounds fair to me, Champa. Vados, would you mind taking me to Earth? It appears as though my attendant hasn't made his way back yet. Come to think of it, my food stock is getting a bit low. Whis has been gone for a couple months now. Peculiar. He must have found more Saiyans.
With that, Beerus, Champa, and Vados made their way to Earth, expecting to find a bunch of Saiyans there. But Whis indeed was on another planet training Saiyans, primarily Broly, trying to get his anger under control so that it can become a tool for his own use rather than a hindrance holding him back. And, to the amazement of Paragus, it was actually working. He was actually feeling a little bad at the fact that he had held his own son back when it turned out he could actually utilize these abilities. It was just as much a learning experience for him as it was for Broly, but his was a lesson in humbleness. Back on Earth, Beerus arrived to find that most of the fighters of the planet had left. He had no idea why, and he was angered when Bulma let him know that they went to Planet Vegeta.
What? Planet Vegeta was blown up by Frieza years ago. How is it back?
Piccolo interjected himself into the conversation. Vegeta wished them back with the Dragon Balls a while ago. They're using it as a neutral ground. Cooler and the others have been training quite a bit, and they're heading this way. So, they're gonna lure them there instead so that Earth isn't destroyed.
Hey, Beerus, what's the big idea? Why are you so angry about them protecting Earth? If it gets destroyed, how am I supposed to enjoy all these delicious foods when I gain control of it? You're not gaining control of this planet. You, Namekian. Is this a serious threat? Be honest.
Piccolo contemplated the question for a moment. This is obviously a threat to his standards. However, when the God of Destruction is asking, it must be placed on a much higher pedestal. He had to contemplate whether or not this was actually an affair that would be worthy of a God of Destruction. As hard as it is to admit it, yes. I'm not entirely certain we have the power to take them out. Lord Beerus, did you have any ideas? Beerus stared Piccolo down. This was the first person he faced when he awoke in search for the Super Saiyan God. An unexpected rival, and yet, one that showed great potential. This was someone that he kind of took seriously, and he respected the fact that Piccolo knew anything that he asked needed to be taken seriously.
Yes, I do. Champa, you said you had Saiyans on your planet as well. I'm still up for the tournament, but if this is a serious threat, I'm not gonna pull my people out for it.
Oh, I see what you're asking for, brother. Yes, but I am considering it a favor for you, so expect me to ask for you to pay up sometime in the future. Vados, be a dear and take the three of us to Planet Sadala immediately. The three of them took their leave, and Piccolo was left there, kind of surprised that the God of Destruction had respected his suggestion. Out in space, Frieza had long since achieved his golden form, and had reached the point where he was now on equal terms with Cooler. In fact, the two of them along with King Cold had managed to master the golden form, having it require much less stamina drain, and it was getting to their heads. They were getting cocky about their strength. Now Cumber didn't see them as his subordinates by any means. No, they were partners, seeking a similar goal, and then they were set to go their own separate ways. That being said, they couldn't go through life thinking that they were actually stronger than him, challenging him somewhere down the road. They had such a resentment towards the Saiyans. Surely, that would translate to them eventually wanting to take him out. They needed to be humbled. One day, after the three of them had finished resting and were preparing for another training session, Cumber stepped in, offering to fight them in a 3v1 match. They gladly accepted, happy to finally see his power unleashed and wanting to know just what the limits of him were. The fight began, and the three of them started out just in their final forms. Cumber had no problem keeping up with this, however. Despite their training, their base forms were not enough to keep up, so they quickly went into their golden forms. Cooler stepped up first, choosing to challenge him alone, wanting to see what his golden form could do against Cumber's base. And the fight was actually pretty good. Cumber was surprised at his strength even. To Cumber's shock, Cooler was actually stronger than him right now. Just 2 months ago, he wouldn't have even been able to hold a candle to his base form, but his potential was incredible. Even better than the Zenkai boosts of the Saiyans. This was definitely unprecedented. Now the power gap wasn't incredibly substantial. Cumber estimated that he was about 25% stronger than him, enough for him to be on the back foot, but not to get one shot. However, things got worse for him when Frieza and King Cold joined in again. They wanted to win. Frankly, they had never seen Cumber transform, and they weren't sure if he could even do it. They didn't know if he was aware of the Super Saiyan transformation. However, he put that speculation promptly to rest when he was finally forced to utilize that transformation. An aura spike that sent the three of them flying back left them speechless, and they saw a new, golden-haired form of Cumber. The Super Saiyan transformation had been unleashed. This hurt Frieza's pride most of all. He remembered back to the days when Goku defeated him on Namek, and when he got defeated back on Earth as well. These Super Saiyans, they always managed to get the upper hand on him. He was frustrated. Frieza arrogantly charged in alone, with Cooler yelling at him to stop. Their formation had been broken, and it made their chances even worse. Cumber knocked Frieza into the ground, so hard that he lost his breath. With their chances already bleak, this formation being broken and Frieza essentially already out of commission made their chances non-existent. Cumber absolutely wiped the floor with the other two. Cooler and King Cold were dumbfounded by this power. None of them were beaten down too hard, however, just to the point of submission. However, when they were defeated, Cumber still had one more lesson to teach them.
Make no mistake here. The three of you are powerful, certainly worthy to be my partners on this mission. But I am more powerful than you, by more than a long shot. This is Super Saiyan, and by the looks on your face, I'm sure you've already seen it before. But you know there's more beyond that.
Cumber powered into Super Saiyan 2.
I may not be the Super Saiyan God. However, I have much power, enough to kill this god when I finally come across it.
Cumber powered into Super Saiyan 3. The strongest transformation that any of them had ever seen thus far.
Soon, our mission will be done and we will go our separate ways. However, I never want you to forget what I'm about to show you, just in case you ever think of finding me and assuming you could take me down. While you've been training here, I've been thinking of something I couldn't quite achieve in my previous life.
Cumber formed a ball of light in his hand.
You see, the mighty Ozaru isn't the end. I always knew that there was something more. I just couldn't quite grasp it. My time was cut short. However, this second chance at life has given me this gift, an opportunity to pass my limits. For that, I thank you.
Cumber threw the ball of light into the sky. It was an artificial moon, pulling off Blutz waves, and as they were absorbed into his body, he began to grow. Not just into a regular Ozaru, but the Golden Great Ape. And for a moment, he stood there, feeling this power, but knowing that there was more. He couldn't quite get it. He had been at this point so many times before, but he never managed to get past it. However, finally, when he realized he and the Ozaru were one, his body began to shrink once more. He reduced back down to his normal size, but fur was covering most of his body. He had achieved a new form, one completely unknown to Cooler or any of the others. His aura was immense, unlike anything Cooler, Frieza, or King Cold had ever felt. They were frankly terrified. Cumber had achieved the power of Super Saiyan 4, and that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. If you like this story, check out this one where Chi-Chi becomes a Saiyan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.